The quantum communication array hummed with an eerie silence. Jaewon Park adjusted his glasses, his fingers tracing the intricate lines of data scrolling across multiple screens. Something was different about this transmission, a signal that had arrived 3 months ago and defied every single scientific expectation. Outside the research facility, the morning sun cast long shadows across the Korean research campus. Advanced satellites and complex monitoring systems surrounded the building, each designed to capture even the most microscopic variations in the mysterious alien communication. Hyun-Ki Kim walked into the room, a steaming cup of coffee in his hand. His eyes were tired but focused. "Anything new?" he asked, placing the coffee next to Jaewon's laptop. Jaewon shook his head. "Nothing concrete. But look at these patterns." He pointed to a series of quantum wave signatures that seemed to dance and interweave in complex mathematical sequences. The signal wasn't random. It was deliberate. Global communication networks had been buzzing with speculation. Military strategists in secret rooms across different continents were preparing contingency plans. Scientists from Tokyo to Washington were working around the clock, analyzing every single fragment of the transmission. The signal had come from a region of space previously thought to be empty. No star systems, no known planetary structures. Just vast, dark emptiness. Yet the transmission was mathematically perfect, too precise to be a random cosmic event, too complex to be a natural phenomenon. Hyun-Ki leaned closer, his breath creating a small fog on the computer screen. "These frequency modulations, they're not like any communication protocol we've ever seen. Standard decryption methods had failed. Machine learning algorithms designed to crack the most complex codes simply crashed when attempting to analyze the transmission. It was as if the signal was actively resisting traditional computational approaches. The research team had grown from a small group of specialists to a global collaborative effort. Funding poured in from international scientific organizations. Governments that typically competed now worked together, sharing resources and data. Jaewon remembered the day the transmission first arrived. He was having lunch with his research team when alarms started blaring. Computer systems across their facility began processing an incoming signal that didn't match any known communication standard. "It's like they're testing us," Hyun-Ki muttered, more to himself than to Jaewon. Military advisors had different interpretations. Some saw it as a potential threat, recommending defensive preparations. Others viewed it as a potential first contact scenario, urging diplomatic readiness. The transmission contained mathematical sequences that seemed to change subtly every time they were analyzed. Quantum physicists were fascinated. The signal appeared to exist in multiple potential states simultaneously, challenging everything known about information transfer. Jaewon's team had discovered something peculiar. The signal seemed to respond, not directly but in subtle ways, to the methods used to analyze it. When aggressive computational methods were employed, the signal would become more complex. When passive observation techniques were used, new patterns would emerge. International research centers set up dedicated teams. Universities around the world began offering specialized courses in xenolinguistics and quantum communication, hoping to crack the mysterious transmission. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The signal remained. Present, persistent, but maddeningly unclear. "What are you trying to tell us?" Jaewon whispered, looking at the scrolling data. The research facility buzzed with controlled excitement. Young scientists worked alongside veteran researchers, everyone united by the same question. What was the meaning behind this extraordinary communication? Hyun-Ki checked his watch. Another long night was ahead. The coffee grew cold, forgotten, beside complex computer systems that continued to analyze the most significant scientific mystery of the decade. Outside, the world continued its normal routine. People went to work, children attended school, governments ran their daily operations. None of them knew about the extraordinary signal that might change everything they understood about communication, space, and possibly their place in the universe. The transmission waited, silent, Patient, deliberate. The world had changed quietly. Research facilities that once focused on traditional scientific disciplines now transformed into secret hubs of innovation. Dae-Hyun Lee stood in a converted laboratory in Seoul, watching as complex quantum communication systems took shape. Governments worldwide had realized something significant. The mysterious transmission wasn't just a scientific curiosity, it was a potential gateway to something much larger. Funding flooded into research programs that would have been considered impossible just months earlier. Military strategists worked alongside scientists. Unusual genetic research began in carefully controlled environments. Young researchers discovered that certain individuals demonstrated enhanced cognitive abilities that seemed to align with the decoded signal fragments. Dae-Hyun's team had developed a breakthrough communication algorithm. It wasn't just a computer program. It was almost like a living system that could adapt and respond to complex mathematical patterns. The algorithm seemed to breathe, to learn, to anticipate. In a secure facility near the Korean coast, advanced technological prototypes emerged. Communication systems that could predict potential interaction points with unknown intelligent life. Propulsion technologies that pushed the boundaries of current scientific understanding. Global cooperation reached unprecedented levels. Countries that had been traditional rivals now shared research, pooled resources, and worked towards a common goal. The mysterious signal had become a unifying force for humanity. Young scientists like Min-seo Park found themselves at the center of an extraordinary moment in human history. Her research into quantum entanglement suggested that the alien transmission might be more than just a message. It could be a test. The world outside these research facilities continued its normal routine. People went to work, children played in parks, cities bustled with daily life. Few knew about the extraordinary preparations happening behind closed doors. Military training programs changed. Soldiers now learned advanced communication techniques. Physical and mental enhancement programs became standard. The human body and mind were being prepared for something unknown. Dae-Hyun often worked late into the night. His team would gather around complex holographic displays, analyzing every tiny detail of their discoveries. They were building something unprecedented, a human response system to a communication that nobody fully understood. Technological breakthroughs happened weekly. Communication systems that could detect microscopic changes in quantum states. Propulsion technologies that seemed to bend the traditional understanding of physics. International research centers established specialized training programs. Universities created new departments focused on xenoscience and advanced communication technologies. The best minds from around the world were being prepared for a potential first contact scenario. Genetic research took unexpected turns. Some individuals showed remarkable abilities to process complex mathematical patterns. Their brains seemed to work differently, almost as if they were adapting to something beyond current human understanding. The global research effort wasn't just about technology. It was about preparing humanity for a potential encounter that could change everything they knew about their place in the universe. Dae-Hyun remembered the first time he realized the transmission was more than just a random signal. It was almost like a complex invitation, a challenge to humanity's technological and cognitive capabilities. Secure communication networks expanded. Satellites with unprecedented capabilities were launched into orbit. Each new technological advancement brought humanity closer to understanding the mysterious transmission. Young researchers worked alongside veteran scientists. The age didn't matter, only the ability to think differently, to see beyond traditional scientific boundaries. They were building humanity's first true response to an unknown cosmic intelligence. The world was changing, slowly, carefully, deliberately. In research facilities around the globe, teams worked tirelessly. They were preparing, they were learning, they were getting ready for something that could potentially redefine human existence. Dae-Hyun looked out the window of his research facility. The city of Seoul continued its normal rhythm. People walked on streets, cars moved, life continued. But something was different. Something was coming. The deep space exploration vessel, Horizon's Promise, hummed with quiet anticipation. Captain Eugen Park stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the massive viewing screen that showed the endless darkness of space. Something had changed in the human crew. They moved differently, thought differently. Their reflexes were sharper. Their understanding of complex systems more intuitive. The genetic modifications and advanced training had transformed them into something more than traditional astronauts. Daehyun's quantum communication systems were integrated throughout the ship. They weren't just technological tools, they felt almost alive. The systems could predict potential interaction points, calculate complex navigation routes, and respond to microscopic changes in the surrounding space environment. The mission was simple yet complex. Trace the origin of the mysterious transmission. But everyone on board knew they were doing something much larger. They were humanity's first true deep space exploration team, prepared for anything. Communication systems began picking up unusual quantum signatures, patterns that didn't match any known cosmic radiation. Something was responding to their presence. Min Seo, the ship's lead research scientist, analyzed the incoming data. Her fingers moved across holographic displays, revealing complex mathematical sequences that seemed to dance and shift. The communication wasn't random, it was deliberate. Crew members demonstrated abilities that would have seemed impossible just months earlier. They could process complex information faster. Their cognitive abilities had expanded. Some could interpret quantum communication patterns almost instinctively. The ship's technology was unlike anything previously developed. Propulsion systems that could bend traditional understanding of physics. Communication arrays that could detect microscopic changes in quantum states. Navigation systems that seemed to anticipate potential cosmic challenges. Unexpected technological breakthroughs emerged during the mission. The ship could modify its own systems, adapting to different space environments, almost like a living organism. Traditional boundaries between human intelligence and technological systems began to blur. Captain Eugen watched her crew work. They were different, enhanced, prepared. Each member had been carefully selected and modified, not just physically but cognitively. They represented humanity's next evolutionary step. Quantum communication systems began transmitting unusual signals. They weren't just receiving information. They were engaging in a complex dialogue with something unknown. The ship itself seemed to be learning, adapting, responding. Min Seo discovered something extraordinary. The ship's communication systems were developing their own unique language. A complex mixture of mathematical sequences and quantum communication, protocols that seemed to evolve in real time. The crew's genetic modifications allowed them to interface directly with the ship's systems. They could understand complex communication patterns that would have been impossible for traditional humans. Their brains worked differently, processing information at speeds that defied previous scientific understanding. Space around them began to change. Quantum signatures shifted. Complex mathematical patterns emerged from the darkness. Something was responding to their presence. Daehyun's communication algorithms proved revolutionary. They weren't just decoding signals. They were engaging in a complex conversation with an unknown intelligence. The algorithms could predict, interpret, and respond in ways that seemed almost magical. Captain Eugen felt it first. A subtle change in the ship's environment, a sense of anticipation, of preparation. Something was coming, something significant. The Horizon's promise continued its journey, a testament to human innovation. A symbol of humanity's unexpected evolution. A vessel prepared to make first contact with an intelligence beyond current understanding. Space remained dark, silent, waiting. But humanity was ready. The moment arrived without dramatic fanfare. Space around the Horizon's promise shifted subtly, like water changing temperature. Captain Eugen Park felt something change before any instrument could detect it. Alien communication systems appeared, not as threatening invasions, but as complex mathematical interactions. The ship's quantum arrays began translating signals that seemed to breathe with intelligence, not aggressive, not hostile, simply different. Minsio's research team watched in complete silence. Their enhanced cognitive abilities allowed them to process the incoming communication in ways no previous human team could have managed. The alien civilization wasn't a single species, but a complex network of interconnected intelligent systems. The transmission revealed something unexpected. The original signal they had received years ago was a sophisticated screening mechanism, a test designed to identify civilizations with potential for complex communication and technological adaptation. Humanity had passed that test. Communication happened through quantum entanglement. Mathematical sequences danced across holographic displays. Complex patterns that represented entire conversations happening simultaneously in multiple dimensional states. The alien collective demonstrated remarkable patience. They didn't rush. They observed. They analyzed. They waited to see how humans would respond to this first genuine interaction. Captain Yu Jin realized something profound. This wasn't a traditional first contact scenario. This was an invitation, a potential integration into a larger cosmic communication network. Daehyun's communication algorithms proved crucial. They could translate not just language, but intent. Complex emotional and intellectual nuances that traditional translation systems would have missed entirely. The alien collective showed genuine curiosity about human potential. They were impressed by humanity's rapid technological evolution. The way humans had adapted their genetic structures, developed quantum communication technologies, and prepared themselves for potential cosmic interactions. Diplomatic protocols dissolved. This wasn't about traditional negotiations. This was a complex dance of technological and intellectual exchange. Humanity demonstrated an ability to learn, adapt, and evolve at speeds that surprised the alien collective. The ship's systems began interfacing directly with alien communication networks. Information transferred not through traditional data streams but through complex quantum entanglement processes. Entire scientific databases could be shared in milliseconds. Min-SEO discovered something extraordinary. The alien collective wasn't a single unified civilization, but a network of different intelligent systems that had learned to communicate and coexist. They saw potential in humanity's unique approach to problem solving. Captain Yu Jin managed the diplomatic interaction. With remarkable calm, her enhanced cognitive abilities allowed her to process multiple communication streams simultaneously. She understood that this moment represented more than just a first contact scenario. This was humanity's entrance into a larger cosmic community. The alien collective shared glimpses of their technological history, complex evolutionary paths that showed how different intelligent species had developed and integrated across multiple star systems. They saw humanity not as a primitive civilization, but as a rapidly evolving potential partner. Quantum communication channels remained open. Complex mathematical conversations continued. The Horizon's promise became more than just a ship. It was a bridge between human potential and cosmic intelligence. Daehyun's team analyzed every interaction. Each communication sequence revealed new insights. The aliens weren't interested in conquest or domination. They were researchers, observers, potential collaborators. The ship's systems continued to adapt, learning, growing, evolving with each passing moment of interaction. Space around them remained dark, but it was no longer empty. Humanity had arrived, and the universe was ready to listen. Jaewon Park stood on the diplomatic platform, representing humanity's first official galactic delegation. The massive chamber was unlike anything humans had ever experienced, a complex quantum environment that seemed to breathe with intelligence. The alien collective had invited humanity into a complex network of galactic civilizations. But this wasn't a traditional invitation. It was a recognition of humanity's unprecedented potential for adaptation and innovation. Global leaders watched the transmission from Earth. The diplomatic team represented more than just a political mission. They were living proof of humanity's evolutionary leap, individuals whose cognitive and technological capabilities had transformed dramatically. Quantum communication systems translated every interaction in real time. Mathematical sequences danced around the diplomatic team, representing complex conversations happening simultaneously across multiple dimensional states. Humanity's journey was unique. Where other civilizations had taken thousands of years to develop advanced communication technologies, humans had accomplished similar breakthroughs in mere decades. The alien collective found this acceleration fascinating. The diplomatic chamber itself was alive with intelligence. Quantum interfaces responded to human thoughts, creating complex holographic representations of communication patterns. Every movement, every thought became part of the larger conversation. Daehyun's communication algorithms proved revolutionary. They didn't just translate language, they interpreted intent, cultural nuances, and potential future interactions. The alien collective was impressed by the depth of human cognitive flexibility. Representatives from different human research teams showcased humanity's diverse capabilities. Genetic modifications, quantum communication technologies, adaptive, cognitive systems. Each presentation revealed a civilization on the brink of a massive evolutionary jump. The alien collective shared glimpses of their own evolutionary history. Complex networks of intelligent systems that had learned to coexist and communicate across vast cosmic distances. They saw humanity not as newcomers, but as potential equals. Jae-won understood the significance of this moment. This wasn't just a diplomatic meeting. This was humanity's official entrance into a larger cosmic community, a recognition of their potential to contribute to a complex galactic network of intelligence. Quantum communication channels remained open. Mathematical conversations continued, revealing layers of understanding that went beyond traditional diplomatic interactions. Humanity was learning to communicate in ways they had never imagined possible. The diplomatic team moved differently. Enhanced cognitive abilities allowed them to process multiple communication streams simultaneously. Their genetic modifications had prepared them for this exact moment, a bridge between human potential and cosmic intelligence. Min Seo's research team presented breakthrough technologies that demonstrated humanity's unique approach to problem-solving. Adaptive communication systems, quantum navigation technologies, genetic modification techniques that allowed humans to interface directly with complex technological networks. The alien collective saw something special in humanity, not just technological potential, but an unprecedented ability to adapt, learn, and evolve at remarkable speeds. Humans weren't just another civilization. They were a dynamic, rapidly transforming species. Space around the diplomatic chamber seemed to pulse with intelligence. Quantum interfaces translated every interaction, every thought, every potential future scenario. The conversation wasn't linear. It was a complex, multi-dimensional exchange of potential. Jae-won realized they were representing more than just a political mission. They were proof of humanity's unexpected evolution, a species that had transformed itself in preparation for a larger cosmic dialogue. The alien collective's invitation was clear. Humanity was welcome to join a complex network of galactic civilizations, not as subordinates but as potential partners. As a civilization with unique capabilities and extraordinary potential, communication continued. Mathematical sequences danced. Quantum interfaces responded. Humanity had arrived,